What's up, guys? It's time for me to make my official Super Bowl 58 prediction. Let's get into it. We got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Folks, as much as I would love to see Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, win this game and break through, I don't think it's going to happen. I hate to say it, folks, but the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be back-to-back champions. And let me tell you how they're going to do it. In order for San Francisco to win, I think they need one of these three things to happen, if not all three. And even with that being said, they could still lose. Let's start off with number one. Brock Purdy has to be excellent in order for San Francisco to win. Against a top 3 defense in Baltimore, against another top 3 defense in Cleveland, Brock Purdy only completed 50% of his passes. He also threw for less than 200 yards in both of those games. Not to mention the fact that in both games, he had a 1-to-5 touchdown to interception ratio. The Kansas City Chiefs defense has been red hot. They have been the quietest story in the NFL. All season long, we heard issues about Kadarius Toney, the Chiefs receivers, dropping passes, MVS, Sky Moore not developing into the player that they drafted when they took him in the second round. But this Kansas City defense, man, from week 1, even without Chris Jones in that first game, you saw him and said, whoa, they might be onto something. Now with Chris Jones, since Chris Jones has entered the fold, this defense has been on another level. Folks, they have a top 3 defense in the league. This is Mahomes' best defensive unit. It may be his worst offensive unit, but this defense has picked up the slack, and I think Brock Purdy is going to really struggle in today's game. The second thing that needs to happen in order for San Francisco to win is for them to win the time of possession battle. Kyle Shanahan loves running the football. That's what he did in Atlanta when he was the offensive coordinator there with Matt Ryan. He utilized Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman. When he got to San Francisco with Jimmy G, he knew Jimmy G couldn't win games. In that NFC Championship game against Green Bay, Jimmy G only threw 8 passes because Kyle didn't trust him. He relied on Mostert and Tevin Coleman once again to carry the load. Now, Kyle Shanahan has the best running back in all of pro football, Christian McCaffrey. In order for San Francisco to win this game, I think Christian McCaffrey has to have a Terrell Davis Super Bowl MVP type of game. In order to beat Patrick Mahomes, you have to keep him on the sideline. When he's out there, I don't care how good your defense is. Patrick Mahomes is going to crack the code. And if you keep him on that sideline, not only is your offense on the field, but you know Pat Mahomes can't hurt you. And the last thing that needs to happen for San Francisco to win is for that San Francisco 49er defense that I saw in the regular season to show up on Super Bowl Sunday. And given what I've seen in these playoffs, that's not happening. They allowed Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon to go ham on them in the running game. Last week against Detroit, we had Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, and Jameson Williams all score rushing TDs. This is a team that has really struggled stopping the run. And given the way how Isaiah Pacheco has been playing, I think Kansas City will win the time of possession battle. I think Mahomes is going to play safe. He's going to be careful with the football. He will game manage this game. I know there's been a lot of talk about Brock Purdy being a game manager and whatever. And it's not a bad thing, folks. If you have to manage the game to win, manage the game. That is what Patrick Mahomes will do on Sunday. And if I go position by position, quarterback, am I taking Brock Purdy or Pat Mahomes? Well, That's a no-brainer. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes. I like Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy is a substantial upgrade from Jimmy Garoppolo, but things can go haywire at times for Brock. We saw him in that divisional round game throw a pass that should have been a pick six to Darnell Savage. Last week in the championship game, we saw a pass that hit a defender right in the face. Brandon Ayuk was able to catch that ball and change the momentum of the ball game. But with Patrick Mahomes, we've seen it time and time again where he's in the Super Bowl and he's constantly winning things year after year after year, and he's one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. If you want to give the Niners an edge at running back and offensive line, I got no issue with that. But Pacheco is no slouch, and other than Tooney, the Chiefs' offensive, and without Tooney last week, the Chiefs' offensive line held up against Baltimore. The Niners have a better collection of weapons given the fact that they have Kittle, Debo, Brandon Ayuk, but the best overall weapon is Travis Kelce, and I'm expecting a big day from Travis. He has been red hot in the playoffs. In the regular season, he cooled off. Maybe he wasn't as into it. He was dating Taylor Swift, had a lot of things going on his mind. But since the moment he needed to be great against Miami, against Buffalo, against Baltimore in the AFC title game, Travis Kelce has delivered the goods. And all Kansas City needs is 2 to 3 special plays from Patrick Mahomes. We saw it in last year's Super Bowl. Going into halftime, he's down by 10. Kansas City scores on each and every single possession. And the biggest play of the game was when protection was breaking down, defenders were coming in Mahomes' face, and Mahomes takes off for a 25-yard plus run to set the Chiefs in field goal range. Patrick Mahomes is just too hard to bet against. I cannot pick against Andy Reid with 2 weeks to prepare. The hotter defense is Kansas City. I believe Chris Jones is the best defensive player in this game, despite all the players that the 49ers have to offer. And I am taking the Chiefs because I think Andy Reid will understand what needs to be done. Patrick Mahomes will game manage. And even as a game manager, I think Patrick Mahomes will win Super Bowl MVP. And after this game, folks, he will be universally regarded as the 3rd greatest quarterback in NFL history behind Tom Brady and Joe Montana. Thank you guys for watching. I hopefully you like this video, and be sure to subscribe.